Okay, so I skipped a month, but it's fine. I'm just gonna do one last update video because I want to start focusing on other things outside of these transition update videos because they tend to go for a while, and I try my best to organize my thoughts and what I want to say in these, but there's too many things to talk about, so I'm just gonna cut out more stuff about me out of these videos and more so things I want to talk about that don't pertain to me because I feel like it's more important. But in this last video, I will be talking about what's been happening the past 2 months and then what things will look out like for next year for me, and what I want to do with this channel. So, the things that have been difficult for me to talk about is my transition into, I guess, changing jobs. The past month has been just me working at a place that I knew I wanted to obtain the skills from in that job, but the management was not too nice, and the coworkers I was with weren't the ideal environment I wanted compared to my sushi restaurant job that I had. And though in this past month I've been combating a lot of internal conflicts with myself regarding my choices this past year, and especially for this month with careers, it's been hard for me to even find the time and peace for myself to collect my thoughts and what I want to do with my time, really. Like, it's hard to manage. There are times where I feel like time's going too fast, and other times where I just can't find time to wind down. But I always do things last minute, procrastinating. Again, like in my other videos, I probably needed to do an assignment while I was recording, and that's exactly the case now. I have a paper due, and I'm very skeptical if I'm going to get it done, but I realized what I wanted to write about in that paper, so hopefully it will go well after this video. But in all this time, I think therapy has been the one, like, positive light in my life that really helps me, I guess, center myself. And my therapist has been helpful with outside sources that I can look to, and some of the techniques I learned from him were very useful to me carrying over these months. And there are some things I try to practice regarding just taking care of myself and practicing those techniques, forms of meditation, and how to go about my approaches into social situations. And though I've really thought on a lot of different aspects in my life, I think the most drastic change this past year was how I interact with people and how I socialize. And I think the person that really opened me up to beginning that socialization and journey of growing socially was my partner. And I just completely forgot, but I'm in a different room. I moved my stuff into the bedroom. I just think it was better for us to have that separate level of privacy because our desks were together in the living room. But anyway, yeah, therapy has been very helpful. My partner and everyone that I've met, though they've known me for years, like my closer friends, I hope that they can see my growth even if I'm not actively engaging with them. I try to keep up to date with my closer circle. As for people in the farther, more acquainted side, I would say I could do a better job of keeping in contact and catching up, but everyone's got a lot on their plate in their lives, so I get that. But I do think the way I talk to people and how I approach social situations and thinking about what the best way to say things is something I am always conscious to, and even more so after learning more psychological aspects through therapy that I just pick up on while talking to my therapist. But aside from that, school, never a subject I like to talk about. Because I will discuss this in a separate video on its own, but I just don't think college is worth it. But yeah, that's just a lighter touch up on school. I'm just glad to be on break soon here, so I can focus on work. I had left that job that I very much disliked, and I'm finding a new one now, and I have high hopes for this new Japanese steakhouse that's opening up near me, and it's much closer, which is nice, so hopefully I get accepted into that. I have another job interview after today. Well, later today, technically. It's Thursday. It's like 3 a.m. But yeah. As for my mental health, I say this every video as it slowly deteriorates. And I think I've come to the root of things, figuring out why. It took me some time to process things I was going through and just kind of bringing myself outside of that loop or this box that I was so in. And I guess, in a way, it released tension and sort of sorted it out. I mean, as I go through these motions with these people and learning my own emotions and how I perceive and go about interpreting these situations, it's I don't know how to put it. I guess just I've matured in ways where I didn't think I could. I kind of just like took 2 steps forward instead of a setback for something that I realized that wasn't a good thing, but I've been trying to understand how people forgive easily, and I try to put myself in a perspective where I'm able to forgive people, including myself, a bit easier. And for that, I have forgiven people of my past and people that I know now. But I'm not so sure in regards to my parents, which I also noticed that my mood and my mental health just goes like 180 every time I've talked to them, interact with them, anything. But there are other times where things can be neutral. Like today, I saw my parents at their store to talk about some things regarding my job findings. And it was casual, pretty mundane stuff. But I just don't like to keep myself around people like my parents. And with that, I see this entirely, like, insane gap between what I have now and what I'm privileged with versus, like, what I dealt with a majority of my life when I probably shouldn't have. And because of that, I've taken so many moments to just be grateful for what I have, even if I am going through a lot of personal struggles. Just like anyone else is, but there's a lot more I would want to talk about outside of these updates that connect to my personal life, in which I also see these same struggles within other people, not just my friends and people I know, but media I would see on YouTube all the time. I get these weird algorithms where I see someone talk about their life and their struggles for a short period of time, and they're not a big channel, but they'll have a lot of views on these certain videos. And there's just a lot to unpack from these videos and all these people that give their share on life, and I also want to do the same. I just wish that I could, I guess, perform these videos a bit better in a cleaner format without me pausing all the time, but I like to choose my words carefully. So with that said, I'm probably going to be releasing shorter videos and in specific topics instead of just talking about a whole wide of different things into one video. But these are the exception because these are just personal updates for me and updates that my friends can watch and just see where I'm at with transitioning. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to focus on my transition, which is weird to say because that was my main focus of this channel, but I don't think it's too necessary unless I hit like a major milestone or whatever that may be. But I'm not too loud about my transition, and I don't feel like there needs to be a reason for that. At least I don't have a reason for it right now. But later on I would like to do like a year milestone video and then share my progress there if I have photos, I try to take more photos, but yeah, we'll see how that goes later. But I don't have any like outstanding changes. And again, it's like everything I've discussed previously, but just more gradually and smoothly. But I do notice weird things that people might not talk about. For example, like before the muscle and fat redistribution, I was able to sit and stretch in certain ways, but now I can't do those certain things, and I have a new way of movement and stretching, just movement that I'm able to do, what's uncomfortable. It's a little odd, but I guess it makes sense, since body compositions are different for males and females. But also, I don't think I'm a very flexible person, so that could be a reason. Or I just don't exercise enough and I'm getting out of shape to where everything's uncomfortable for me. But yeah, that's just one thing recently that bothers me. But more personal updates aside from all of this is I'm trying to stick to a skincare routine, and I'm picking up on hobbies like crocheting, which I have something right here that I'm making. I have another project after that, and then I want to pick up on an instrument, but I did not find time to get my instruments from my other place at my parents', which I will try to do. Other than that, I do want to pick up on art again, but there's just so little time. Especially like winter break, it's 3 weeks, but there's so many things I could be doing in that time. But even if I take things one at a time, it's like I feel like no matter which one I could do, which hobby I could go for, or projects, or even schoolwork, I always feel like I'm not taking the right steps, or I'm not going in the right direction with my time. And I guess that's bound to happen with whatever you're doing, but as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, and feel satisfied that you're progressing in something, I guess that's all that matters. But yeah, that's all I had to say for this video. I think my next few videos are really gonna touch up on school, what I learned from my feminism classes, and more so just like my take on life and philosophy, and just things I hear from other people that I really want to give feedback on. So, yeah. Thanks for watching and listening, and I'll see you hopefully next month.